You would have heard about lot of sources of renewable energy, but क्या आपको पता है कि चिल्ड्रन लिटरेचर भी एक सोर्स हो सकता है रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का? साउंड्स अब्सर्ड, लाइक थोड़ा अजीब लगेगा, लेकिन एक्चुअली ऐसा हो सकता है। एंड कैसे हो सकता है, यही एक आर्टिकल मैंने पढ़ा जो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। मैंने सोचा क्यों ना आपके साथ शेयर किया जाए और बताया जाए कि कैसे चिल्ड्रन लिटरेचर, यानी जब बच्चे छोटे होते हैं उनको लिटरेचर के तौर पर जब हम पढ़ाएंगे एनवायरनमेंट के बारे में, तो कैसे उनके माइंड में वो इन्वाइव होगा एंड कल को वो आपका एक सोर्स बनेगा रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का, जो कि यंग एडल्ट माइंड्स नहीं समझते, वो चिल्ड्रन समझ सकते हैं थ्रू लिटरेचर। एंड this was a beautiful connection of children literature with renewable energy and human capital, which I found truly amazing. Hi everyone, welcome back to Equipoise Classes. I am Surbhi Gupta, and in these videos we pick up economics topic from newspaper and we directly read and discuss the newspaper article. Why? Because of more than one reasons. First of all, it helps you in understanding the topic. Second, if you're appearing for any entrance exam or if you are studying economics in any grade, okay, so it would be helpful for you to read newspaper, because you will get to know how to read a newspaper and how to leave, stupid things that come in the newspaper, because the actual important things are very few. So you need to pick up the correct ones and then you need to analyze it. So it explains you the topic. It helps you in understanding how to read a newspaper. It helps you in analysis of a particular topic. It gives you perspective. Like it is a neutral lens. A newspaper is a neutral lens. So what they do is they pick up a topic, they give you pros, then they give you con, and then they give you optimistic ending, which is actually a body and a way of writing any answer in any entrance exam. That you give a good side, you give a bad side. Basically, you tell the audience or examiner about everything about that topic, and then leave it up to the examiner to decide which side they want to go. And but you give a conclusion which is optimistic, which is for India, which is of India, which is by India. So that is how newspaper helps us. And this is why this series, I really hope that you found it useful. Till date, you're finding it useful. And again, today's topic is going to be very interesting. So no more blabbering. I quickly share the screen and let's discuss, get going with this topic. Okay. So as you read, the title is Children's Literature is a Source of Renewable Energy. And this is very well put across by Kavita Gupta Sabharwal. And who's she? Let's just first understand, because these days I'm trying to give you the author's name and I don't want to steal any of the credits for this. I'm just reading it and explaining it to you. But the beautiful article is written by her, and she is head of school, Neve Academy, and co-founder of Neve Children's Literature Festivals. Okay, and she has written this article. So let's start reading this. I've already highlighted the important points, but I'll use the pen also to explain you further. Okay, so philosopher and statesmen often debate the state of the world, but point is to change it. This is a very beautiful starting. So if you're writing any essay, you can start it like that, we often debate about the world, that how the world should be, but what are we doing to change it? So the point is to change it, and to change it meaningfully. Okay, so it's not only just to bring a change, but to bring a meaningful change. I believe that children's literature and children's reading should become a national and civil society priority. Okay, self-explanatory. Both are sources of renewable energy for the nation, as they have the potential to raise human capital, secure our democracy, and amplify India's soft power. Okay, so I think we have that much of potential, and literature has so much of potential. That is why she's talking about the literature. Unfortunately, quality of children's literature and quantity that children read is a bit of a chicken and egg problem, and I have found it very good and a beautiful line that you can use in any of your answers, and this will woo your examiner like anything, that oh my god, how well she or he has explained this point, that the quality of children's literature and the quantity that children are reading these days. First of all, the quality is not good. Next is the quantity that they read is a chicken and egg problem. What is a chicken and egg problem? वो मजाक में बोलते हैं ना, पहले मुर्गी आई या पहले अंडा, वो वाला प्रॉब्लम है. ठीक है, so which needs to be fixed first? इनमें से क्या फिक्स करें? क्वालिटी फिक्स करें या क्वांटिटी फिक्स करें? ठीक है, दिस इज अ चिकन एंड एग प्रॉब्लम. Solving a chicken and egg problem is impossible without becoming a vegetarian, pun intended. ठीक है, वेजिटेरियन बन जाओ, क्योंकि चिकन एंड एग प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं सॉल्व कर सकते. ठीक है, इसका एक्चुअल मीनिंग ये है कि इन अदर वर्ड्स डूइंग समथिंग डिफरेंट. If you need to solve this problem of quantity and quality of children literature, then you have to do something else, something different, something meaningful. Okay, the slides show status of children's literature at major lit fest. Lit fest is literature fests that happen, and there's a sideshow status of children's literature. Sideshow means that hardly any books are kept in literature fest for children. That's the sideshow. Importance नहीं दे रहे ना, जगह नहीं दे रहे उतनी, मतलब मैटर नहीं करता, इसलिए दो चार बुक हो तो हो, वो वाली बात है. Okay, in India reflects a poverty of ambition, quality and attractiveness in our supply of books. How beautifully, ठीक है. I again and again using this phrase because she has used English and the lines and the phrases beautifully, you know, appreciating it like anything, because she said all this, the sideshow of children literature in the lit fest is actually reflecting poverty. Poverty of what? Poverty यानी गरीबी, ambition की, ठीक है, attractiveness की. हमारे supply of books में वो सब lack कर रहा है कहीं ना कहीं. Our neglect of children's literature is painful, given that this industry's product and services are at core of the culture, learning and exchange of ideas, because children are the ones who are foundation. So if you know that a human brain develops at very small age, once you become adult it's difficult for you to adapt things. So बच्चों के टिपिकल लैंग्वेज में क्या कहते हैं, बचपने में बच्चों के दिमाग में जो डाल दिया वो बड़े होके वैसे ही चलेंगे, क्योंकि बड़े होके आपके दिमाग में कुछ डालना और चेंज करना इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. ओके, सो if we don't change, we will have to scale back some, if not all, of our ambitions, the future ambitions as well, because these children are going to be future of the world. And if you're not, future of your nation, and if you're not changing it when they are children, so you will have to cut back on your ambitions in that case. Simple as that. Very direct. Okay. The Indian kid literature market is just above rupees 700 crore, the size of a small pharmaceutical company. Even small Spain and France are around 5 times of India. The US, UK, and China, Australia, Germany, and Japan way ahead. At number 1, US. So kid literature market सबसे ज्यादा कहाँ पर है? US में. Number 1 है US. Even though decline हो रहा है अब, still it's 30 times that of India. इंडिया का 30 times है वहां पे. यानी वहां के बच्चों में आप लिटरेचर से बहुत कुछ इनकलकेट कर रहे हो जो इंडिया लैक कर रहा है अभी भी. फिर हम जब बच्चे बड़े हो जाते हैं तो बोलते हैं स्किल नहीं सिखाए, ये नहीं सिखाए. अरे बड़े क्लास में भी टीचर कितना सिखा लेगी, जब जब वो छोटे थे तब नहीं सिखाया उन्हें, जब वो छोटे थे, जब उन्हें कुछ भी नहीं आता था. सो इमेजिन there's a canvas, a blank canvas. So painting on a blank canvas is easier. बट अगर उस पे ऑलरेडी बहुत कुछ पेंटेड है और स्क्रैच लाइंस हैं, हाउ विल यू पेंट देन? तो थोड़ा सा लाइंस दिखेंगी ना, जरूरी नहीं है बहुत स्मूथ पेंटिंग हो जाए. सो दैट इज द थिंग. ओके, डोंट टॉक अबाउट एक्सेप्शंस नाउ. कमेंट्स में मत आ जाना कॉलिंग मी आउट की ओ ऐसे नहीं है, ये भी है. एक्सेप्शनल केसेस आर ऑलवेज देयर. Okay, some of this gap can be explained by differences in prosperity and population, but there is more going on. So नॉर्मल थिंग्स ना, किसी भी आंसर में लिख दोगे कि ये डिफरेंसेस प्रॉस्पेरिटी की वजह से हैं, ये तो कॉमन है, ये तो सबको पता है, तुम क्या नया ला रहे हो टेबल पे, वो बढ़ता है. दिस ईयर आवर 80,000 crore सेंट्रल एजुकेशन बजट इज द हाईएस्ट एवर. ओके, नो डिनाइंग, but could do with diverting 25% to reading as a national priority, removing the National Council for Education Research and Training, that is NCERT, National Book Trust and Children's Book Trust from the politics of book access. So remove it from the politics. Divert your 25% of the expenditure to children or kid literature market, but please just don't involve politics and all that. NCRT mein, National Book Trust mein, please don't involve politics in that. And she's very blunt in saying this. Children's literature cannot change the world, but it can and should change itself to cope up. Again, amazing line. She's saying children's literature world change नहीं कर सकती. ठीक है, आप बच्चों की लिटरेचर में कुछ लिख रहे हो, वो वर्ल्ड चेंज नहीं कर सकता, बट मिनिमम हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि चिल्ड्रंस लिटरेचर खुद को चेंज कर ले अकॉर्डिंग टू द वर्ल्ड चेंजिंग. द वर्ल्ड इज चेंजिंग, द वर्ल्ड इज डायनामिक. टू कोप अप विद इट हम चिल्ड्रंस का लिटरेचर, मतलब चाइल्ड लिटरेचर ही चेंज कर सकते हैं. Because what she's saying is child literature world नहीं change कर सकती, but world is changing, तो एटलीस्ट उससे कोप अप करने के लिए हम चाइल्ड लिटरेचर चेंज कर सकते हैं, इतना तो कर ही सकते हैं. ओके, किड लिटरेचर इन इंडिया इज सब्जेक्ट टू अकाउंटिंग मॉन्स्ट्रोसी. ठीक है, LIFO, दैट इज लास्ट इन एंड फर्स्ट आउट. लास्ट इन यानी आखिर में आई, सबसे लेट आई इंडिया में और सबसे फास्ट मूव आउट कर गई. Okay, kids literature was late to arrive to India, and with dwindling of print media, bookstores and library, space for children's literature across formats has shrunk. there's no space for children's literature. ठीक है, उसका एक रीजन ये भी है कि इंडिया हैज अ कल्चर रिच एंड डाइवर्स ओरल ट्रेडिशन, ओके, वेयर स्टोरीज बीइंग नरेटेड रादर देन रिटन डाउन। ओके, हमने बचपन से क्या सुना है, दादी नानी ने कहानियां सुना दी, वही कहानियां छप गई, तो वो कहानियां लिखने से ज्यादा सुनाने में, नरेट करने में इंटरेस्टेड होते थे, जिस वजह से एज शी सेइंग दैट द स्टोरीज वर नरेटेड rather than written down and passed along by grandparents, and this may have contributed to slow growth of children's fiction and publishing. That is the reason, one of the reasons for slow growth. The content is not lacking, content नहीं लैक कर रहा, कंटेंट बहुत है, दादी नानियों के पास कंटेंट की कमी थी ही नहीं, कंटेंट तो सबसे ज्यादा हम लोगों के पास। The will and creativity to put it in the form that would appeal to young mind is, but we have we don't lack content, we lack the willingness and creativity to put it in the form that young mind these days would want to approach those literature books. Okay, supplemented by reading challenges, book prizes, fellowship, focus literature fest for children could change this. So we should also simultaneously focus on events that will further boost up the sales of children literature. Okay, the long shadow of Nehru's view of National Book Trust being a book hospital for our young lives on in today's view of children's book being mostly textbooks. So children book are mostly textbook these days, not literature. Most are, so there's a very good thing that मैंने डिफरेंस एक निकाल के रखा था आप लोगों के लिए कि लिटरेचर और टेक्स्ट बुक में क्या फर्क होता है. So literature encompasses written work, especially those considered to have artistic or intellectual value. Artistic or intellectual value. It includes genres like poetry, prose, drama, essays. Okay, purpose होता है to entertain, provoke thought, evoke emotions. Okay, then example होते हैं novel, short story, play. Textbook क्या होती है? Textbook is a book used as a standard work for the study of a particular subject. Eco की textbook, SST की, science की, ये textbook हो गई, ठीक है. It contains factual information and is designed for educational purpose. Textbooks are created to educate and provide structured knowledge. स्पेसिफिक सब्जेक्ट में स्ट्रक्चर्ड नॉलेज. लेकिन लिटरेचर से इवोक होता है इमोशंस, प्रोवोक होता है थॉट, आपकी क्रिएटिविटी बिल्ड होती है, तो इसलिए लिटरेचर एंड टेक्स्ट बुक अलग होती है. इस आर्टिकल में क्योंकि था, सो फॉर मी इट वाज इंपॉर्टेंट. उन्होंने यही बोला कि आज की डेट में चिल्ड्रन बुक आर मोस्टली टेक्स्ट बुक एंड नॉट किड लिटरेचर और चाइल्ड लिटरेचर. सो इसलिए हमारा अंडरस्टैंड करना इंपॉर्टेंट है कि लिटरेचर और टेक्स्ट बुक में क्या फर्क है. आई होप यू गॉट इट नाउ. ओके, most are poor quality with limited and outdated content that neither feeds the imagination nor informs but narrowly prepares student for assessment. वो यही बोल रही हैं. अब वो एनसीईआरटी को भी कहीं ना कहीं टारगेट कर रही है इनडायरेक्टली कि मोस्टली टेक्स्ट बुक्स भी क्या है, अच्छी क्वालिटी की नहीं है. तो टेक्स्ट बुक है पर वो भी पुअर क्वालिटी की हैं, और उसमें भी कुछ वो इवोक नहीं करते, आपका इनोवेशन नहीं करते, आपको इन्फॉर्म नहीं करते, बस एक छोटा मोटा डेटा होता है और आपको एक असेसमेंट के लिए तैयार करा देते हैं कि ओके क्लास 11th में आ गए आप, एनसीईआरटी पढ़ लो, एंड में एग्जाम होगा, बस उसके लिए उतना पढ़ लो, उतना है बस उसमें, ठीक है, कुछ ज्यादा नहीं है उससे. इससे बेटर है उससे तमिलनाडु बोर्ड बुक्स, इतनी अच्छी इकोनॉमिक्स की उसकी बुक, बहुत सारे सब्जेक्ट्स की इतनी अच्छी अच्छी बुक्स हैं. यू गो टू तमिलनाडु गवर्नमेंट वेबसाइट, एंड आई एम नॉट प्रमोटिंग इट हियर, I mean, I have no, like, I'm not sponsored or anything, but it's a personal experience that Tamil Nadu board books give you. So why do you think that South India literacy rate and South Indian people are more educated and more innovative and creative? So when schools अलग अलग है, तमिलनाडु बोर्ड से पढ़ते हैं, आप लोग यहाँ से पढ़ लेते हो, फिर जब साथ में दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में आप ग्रेजुएशन के लिए आते हो, so those people are much more smarter than you because you have read only a few things. They have understood everything because they were evoked with innovation, thoughts, information, creativity, which we are not. So that is the difference. I'm just giving you a real life example. The ratio of literature to textbook sales in India. Literature sales hardly 5 है, and whereas textbook 95 है. ये इंडिया का रेशियो है. Far lower जापान में देखो हाईएस्ट है, लिटरेचर का सेल्स 90 है और टेक्स्ट बुक का 10 है, 90:10. यूएस में 70:30, कोरिया में एंड यूके में 60:40. लिटरेचर ज्यादा लोग ले रहे हैं, ठीक है. टेक्स्ट बुक्स पब्लिशर्स एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स हैव बिकम प्रिंटर्स without the magical touch of commissioning, editing, and nurturing authors. So the novels nurture an author like anything, but these days, because the ratio of literature is to textbook is 5:95, because of which a publisher or a distributor has merely become a printer and they're not serving or nurturing the author. So that's sad. Then ignoring literature and focusing merely on textbook limits the development of young minds' creative engagement with the world. Research suggests that seeing affirming views of identity in books defines children's beliefs of how the world perceives them, which has led to global emergence of African American, then different literatures globally, Chinese and different literatures globally. The politics of language in India, however, seems to be crowding out the real crisis. We only fight. हम हर चीज में politics ले आते हैं उठा के. ठीक है? So yeah, I would not want to go into this principle. So let's skip it and let's read from here. Our hesitation to participate in PISA assessment. What is PISA assessment? I have here, Program for International Student Assessment. What is it? Program for International Student Assessment is an international assessment administered by Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. तो ये करते हैं, इंटरनेशनल असेसमेंट होती है स्टूडेंट्स के बीच में, ठीक है, बट वी हेजिटेट इन पार्टिसिपेटिंग. Why? Because given our last poor showing 15 years ago, when India ranked second lowest among 73 countries, just ahead of Kyrgyzstan. हम सेकंड लोएस्ट 73 कंट्रीज ने पार्टिसिपेट किया था, हम 72 पे आए थे, बस एक किर्गिस्तान ही हमसे नीचे थी. इतना गंदा परफॉर्म किया था हमने 73 कंट्रीज में. हम तब से इतना डरते हैं कि हम हेजिटेंट हैं, हम पार्टिसिपेट ही नहीं करते. तो वो होता है ना कि लास्ट आने के डर से मैच ही मत खेलो, पार्टिसिपेट ही मत करो, वो वाला सीन है हमारा यहाँ पे. ओके, PISA established leisure reading as the greatest indicator for higher scorers, and yet writers and editors of children's literature get paid pittance, resulting in double whammy of worsening quality. So they are not paid. People who are writing this, they are not paid. And trust me, when you compete with a student or a kid from West, and you know, we say that they are very intelligent. Why? Because they are reading literature, even at a very small age. We are not. We are not even able to finish our textbooks when they are reading textbook complemented with, actually literature complemented with textbooks. Literature is the primary source. They are learning like anything. Okay, so that is something that we lack. And to read widely with interest and curiosity as a child or young adult is to acquire the ability to dream, imagine, create, while imbibing ideas, values, and sense of world beyond one's window. So if you read a novel, if you read literature, what happens is when you read, so you should have the ability that what you're reading is something that you're imagining. Think of it as a movie where a bubble is there. So when you're reading a novel, there should be a bubble in your head, or like just a hypothetical. It happens with me. There's a bubble, and when I start imagining everything, oh, this is the character, she's doing this, and I start imagining. That is how it evokes emotions and thoughts in you, within you, and creativity within you. So you need to dream, you need to imagine, you need to create, right? So reading for leisure is entertainment, but it also enhances communication, language, employability skills. If you read, so you think you're reading in your leisure, you're reading a novel. I have 2, 3 novels. If I'm reading it, it's not a time waste. It's like I am learning things that will help me better communicate. Those are self-development things that is leading to my personal growth and development. I'm reading about the language. I'm improving in English language. I'm improving my communication skills. I'm actually improving my employability skills because I know a lot. So even if I go into interview and I quote something, that means that the employer would feel that, oh, she's so learned, oh, she's read this, oh, she's read this, she's so capable. That is how it creates an impression, right? Compared to a person who's not read anything. So yeah, the quality of children's literature and quantity. So this is important. The quality of children's literature and the quantity of children's reading are intertwined. When one does well, so does the other. And when they both do well, India will be unstoppable. So she is linked, as you know, she is linked everything with human capital. You can read it here, that ensuring that Indian children read well has the potential to enhance India's human capital, secure our democracy, and amplify countries' soft power. Unfortunately, India lags other countries on both quality and quantity when it comes to what our kids read, and is reflected in poor learning outcomes at school level that we must fix. So she's a teacher, she's head of a school, and she's head of Lit Fest also. So she has all the right to claim this because she's talking with experience and data and factual knowledge. We must respect that. We must consider it. And these articles help you in understanding different perspectives of people who are coming from that field. Because if I start speaking about this thing, I may not be a reliable or the correct person to speak about this because I don't belong to that field, but she does. And that is why it's important to understand her perspective with a neutral lens. And if something bad is happening, we should start changing it. Not, with one effort, with one person changing mindset will not change the entire nation's mindset, I always say. But at least we can start with ourselves. And that's the message of this particular video. I hope you found it useful. I won't take a lot of your time, but do consider like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Share your feedback. Stay happy, smiling, and I'll see you with another one. Till then, take care and bye bye.